Welcome to this explainer. When we picture the future of farming, we usually imagine, I don't know, massive heavy machinery or maybe some super advanced synthetic chemicals. But what if I told you the actual key to sustainable agriculture is green, completely microscopic, and literally already growing right there in local waters? Today, we're diving straight into a totally fascinating biological approach targeting the Toshkى lakes. We're going to see how one single, really elegant idea has the potential to completely reshape how we think about resource independence.
So the entire core of this initiative basically boils down to this one brilliant concept. It's all about utilizing algae cultivation right there in Toshkى Lake to hit absolute self-sufficiency when it comes to fertilizers. This whole thing was proposed by Dr. Maikel Nagi Riyadh, and let me tell you, this isn't just some abstract science experiment. No, it's a highly specific, super targeted application of green technology designed to solve a very real-world agricultural need. We are essentially looking at a total paradigm shift here, taking a hyper-localized problem and fixing it with a purely biological solution.
It's pretty wild when you think about it. This strategy creates a direct biological pipeline. You start with the active cultivation of living algae in the water, and bam, that becomes your direct input for sustainable fertilization. It completely bypasses that old-school reliance on manufactured synthetic chemical fertilizers and just totally replaces them with a bio-based alternative. So we're really not just looking at algae as, some green stuff floating in a lake anymore. We're looking at it as a dynamic, living, breathing fertilizer factory.
Now, location is absolutely everything for a concept like this. The initiative specifically targets the Toshkى lakes as the vital hub to make this happen. By tapping into this specific body of water, the whole theory gets anchored in reality, right? It's all about using local water resources to fuel the agriculture of that exact same region. It creates this beautiful, localized, closed-loop system. The water grows the algae, and then the algae fertilizes the land right around it. Honestly, that intense localization is the absolute key to understanding just how profoundly efficient this idea really is.
And this hyperlocal approach kicks off such an elegant chain reaction. Step 1, that's the physical cultivation of the algae out there in the lakes, which, naturally, feeds right into Step 2, producing those sustainable, bio-based fertilizers straight from that very same algae. It's a remarkably smooth transition from cultivation to production. And ultimately, that production is exactly what unlocks Step 3, which is true regional agricultural self-sufficiency. It is literally a direct pipeline flowing from a local water source straight into total agricultural independence.
Think of it like a giant puzzle with 4 crucial pieces. You've got the algae, the lakes themselves, that massive goal of independence, and of course, the visionary who put it all together. They form this delicate but incredibly powerful ecosystem. If you remove the lakes, well, you lose the exact environment you need to scale up the cultivation. If you remove that goal of self-sufficiency, the whole project just completely loses its ultimate purpose and its economic drive. It's an entire systemic blueprint, entirely distilled down into these foundational pillars that all work together to create one seriously cohesive strategy for regional sustainability.
But hey, sweeping regional changes and these grand, big-picture ideas for self-sufficiency, they always have to start with a single spark of human ingenuity. And for this initiative, that spark came from the mind of Dr. Maikel Nagi Riyadh. He looked at the Toshkى leaks, he looked at the agricultural deficit of the surrounding region, and he basically just drew a biological line connecting the two. In this crazy world of sustainable tech and agricultural development, taking a moment to identify the innovator really reminds us of the human element that's actually driving all these massive scientific propositions forward. Let's just pause and reflect on the real endgame here: self-sufficiency. What does that actually mean on the ground for the people in a region? Well, for starters, it means freedom. Freedom from those highly vulnerable external supply chains. It means they don't have to constantly import expensive chemical fertilizers from totally outside the area. Instead, it means utilizing what is already right there and abundant: the water, the sunlight, and the massive biological potential of algae, just to feed the crops that feed the people. It literally transforms the entire region from being a dependent consumer of outside agricultural products right into a completely self-sustaining ecosystem. So we've walked through this incredibly smart blueprint for a closed-loop system of independence, but it definitely leaves us with a really vital question. Is this biological approach the ultimate key? Can microscopic algae actually bear the weight of an entire region's agricultural needs? As we keep looking toward the future of sustainable farming, bold concepts like the one proposed for the Toshkى lakes really force us to step back and reevaluate what's actually possible when we decide to collaborate with nature rather than just relying on synthetic alternatives. Keep asking those big questions, keep looking closely at the science, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.